Happy Wednesday, July 8th, everybody. We're here for a town work session. It is 10 a.m. Before we go any further, Councilman Rothwell would just help us lead the pledge.
Yes, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir.
Can I make one brief announcement?
Absolutely. We have a lot of time for announcements.
Just going to wish my wife a happy anniversary. It is our 31st year today, and I love her very much, so thank you.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
That's all I got.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We want to, again, just thank everybody for the 4th of July parade. And I believe our town board, we're going to be posting a video later thanking everybody individually. And so we want to do that. And we're so excited. It was a great time. We also want to let everybody know that July 9th, the Live on 25 is postponed as we continue to get everything back from the storm and make sure that event is as successful as it can be. Does anyone else have any other announcements?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So Saturday, July 11th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the First Baptist Church of Riverhead, that's on Northville Turnpike, there is no cost lung cancer screening event. So that is no cost on this coming Saturday. The other one is a little early, but it's Sunday, July 26th. The rec department is doing a Rev Up for Rise car show at Stotchke Park. That's 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
I will actually comment about the Jamesport Carnival coming to town, this Tuesday, July 14th, is the kickoff. On the 15th, Wednesday, is the parade that begins at 7 o'clock down Main Street in Jamesport. And the carnival will continue until the 18th, and on the 18th, they will have the fireworks, which is always a fantastic show. So I hope to see everybody down there.
Absolutely. Anyone else on this side? Nothing. Okay. So we want to make you aware. Again, we made an announcement last night, but we want to that our highway and buildings and grounds have been working to do the storm removal and to help you, the residents, with the removal of the debris from your yard. Our yard waste facility and actually the highway yard across the street will both be open to all residents starting today, July 8th through Sunday, July 12th. You need to present ID that shows you're a resident, but you do not have to have a yard waste sticker for this time period. Excuse me. Next Monday, July 13th, normal rules will reapply. But again, only single axle, no dump trucks, no commercial vehicles. Please utilize this smartly and wisely. We're trying to help you get stuff cleared from your yard, and we ask that you take advantage of that while you can. So with that said, and no more announcements, we'll move into our open session. Our first one today is going to be matters surrounding site plan application for 318 East Main Street in Riverhead. We did flip-flop those this morning. Oh, okay, so sorry, Mr. Danowski, we'll wait. Matters surrounding police fees and special events with Councilman Rothwell, and sitting in today is our Captain Wilsey.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Captain. How are you? So I just wanted to have a discussion on when we have like Chapter 255 private events in the town of Riverhead. And often when they take place on private property, and if there's police needed, they cover the costs, as well as fire marshals and application fees, permit fees, and so forth. But one of the things that we seem to be struggling with a little bit, at least I have concerns about, is that there is the current town rules and regulations. So within our code is that when an event takes place on public grounds, specifically like town property, the applicant is not required to pay the police department fees. So like we recently had an event, and I think based on what Chief Frost had sent me, so there was an event that was held down at the Duck Ponds in Wading River, and in police fees, just so everybody has an idea, was $56.70 in straight time and $3,500 in overtime, which basically cost the town $9,300. So we spent $9,300 on basically a private event to be held down there. And so I think that we as a board, should at least consider the fact that if it's a private event and it's somebody else that is making money off, we're getting a profit from it. It's not a nonprofit, and we're not referring to like Duck Pond Day and things like that, where I see those as community events. But when a private, person comes in and wants to hold this event, it's costing the town money, and so we're not being refurbished. So this could set a trend going forward in the future, where all of a sudden events will be held at Granger Bell Park, Stotsky Park, going all around the town, and then what people event coordinators may find the ability to circumnavigate around the police costs. So I think we at least have to have the discussion about that and whether we need to address that and change that in our own code.
Well, I'll just, I will bring up that I went over with Chief Frost a while ago, what they do in the village of Patchogue and in their event application, and I also spoke to the clerk as well, is you file an event application, let's just say a vendor files, it's $150. Out of that, a portion of that then goes to the police department. And that's the way they do it in the village of Patchogue. So I think that's something we should look at.
And I think certain events, like the Polish Fair, is like more of is a tourism event for the whole town, and I don't want to do anything that jeopardizes those large-scale events that are, like, to me, drive tourism down there. They bring people to our restaurants, to our shops, our retail. It helps promote that. But if it's a private event that's not really doing that, that's when I have concerns about the loss of revenue that the town is spending on that.
Yeah, I can tell you that in terms of police services in 2025, I think we recouped about between 25 and 30% of the costs. So it was almost $112,000 spent and about $25,000 recouped from all the events.
It's terrible.
So it's a lot of money being spent.
I know the chief told me that 1125 is $17,000 to $19,000. And
Normally, right, the ones with the fireworks, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
We need to have every
And that's why, hopefully, he was saying that if we had a town square that can hold a lot of people, he wants to do it. It takes a lot less officers, and it's a lot, the cost goes way down. So
Right, when we're closing intersections and you have that many people,
Yeah.
you need officers or TCOs or whoever we can get
Yeah.
at every intersection, the outside intersections, just so that the rest of the community who is not going is not affected by traffic sitting for hours, and you want to make it as reasonable for everyone who's in the area.
great.
Yeah, I think it's been a growing concern for years. We're a tourist town where things happen, and so I think it is something wise that we need to look into. I know Chief has spoken to at least myself about it. He's raised his concerns, and thank you for bringing it forward. I think it's something that we could look at. We need to have a real plan of action and probably speak to our legal team and see what we can do. And because we don't want it to become we're picking.
Right.
But there has to be some clear boundaries there, and then
Right. for who-
kind of like the showmobile, what it cost us, and some other things in our town that we want to be helpful.
It's like when there's an event at Tanger Mall. Well, whoever's doing that picks up all costs.
Correct.
But all of a sudden, if you said, all right, let's not do it at Tanger Mall, let's do it at Stotsky Park, you circumnavigate around all the police department fees. And that's when it just, and it's not, I think we could take a look at, and classify some of the large-scale community events, again, like the Polish Hole and Duck Pond Day, and those are, real driving forces for restaurants. And I don't have so much concerns about investing and covering the cost of police to help assist the businesses in one way or another, But it's these individual private events, and I think that they're just going to keep growing in that way. We just addressed the town board meeting yesterday, the cost of the showmobile, because that was an extreme loss. So when the showmobile goes down there, it's like, now we're giving people the police, at cost, and then we're giving them the showmobile, which was a significant loss. So we corrected that yesterday, and I think this is the next step in correcting how we go forward. And I think that we should consider legislation to, that if it's a private event, and that they have to cover the police costs.
I think that it will also be helpful for your department to be able to budget better for the equipment that you need and the updates to the department, instead of, it almost seems like wasted money where it should be going to something more beneficial.
We try, if there's an event, if we have extra units, to not have to pay the overtime. We'll take some of those officers if we have extra, or the COPE officers, and then they'll head to that special event to try and alleviate the overtime costs. But really, those officers should be on the beaches, on the road, doing traffic patrol, all those other things.
Yep.
Yeah. And at the end of the year, every year, everybody always points to the high cost of police, and this is one of those that they fail to see the benefit that they get to use, that they go to those events, and it does only service a certain population. So yeah, across the board, I think it's something we need to put our heads together and work on.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, because we figured out we're losing on the showmobile. It's nowhere near what you're losing, but it's $60,000 a year. When you look year after year after year, 10 years, that's $600,000.
Right, 'cause not just the snowmobile, it's the personnel, it's putting the snowmobile up, it's somebody
That's-
the snowmobile, it's everything that goes with
Yep.
the snowmobile.
Exactly.
Trying to cut costs for taxpayers, try to make it so that everybody isn't bearing the burden of private events.
That's great.
This one event was 5 police officers and 2 TCO officers as well. So you have 7, men and women that are tied up for that whole day.
Right.
And it's concerning. So I just think if everybody, the board was kind of, then we could sit down with the town attorneys and try to draft some type of legislation to address it. There are already events that we've, the board has passed for this year to take place. So whether or not it's going to be something that takes effect immediately, or the town board needs to think, is this something that's going to be effective, January 1st towards, the upcoming year. And so I think that's something also the town board has to affect, because there are events that are going to take place that are, again, for private companies, and we're going to be covering a large-scale cost of those private company events. So I don't know how the board feels in terms of doing something immediately and notifying them, or making it as of January 1st.
I think we probably,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, you start before me.
I was going to say, if we're going to meet with our town attorney, I think we probably should talk to them about what that looks like and where we can draw a line and set that starting line. So, go ahead, Joan, sorry.
I was going to suggest that maybe we can see if there can be a 30-day grace period, for people that have already started planning an event but haven't submitted their 255 application yet. After 30 days, it becomes implemented.
And I think maybe, for example, what we did do for Duck Pond Day is the town board co-sponsored that event. And so I think that some of the events like Polish Fair or something that comes in, there's the potential for them to ask the town board, hey, listen, we're concerned about cost, but this is an event that drives tourism to the whole town. Could the town board choose certain events to say, okay, we will co-sponsor that, because it does, immediately, allow a lot of businesses to succeed. A lot of businesses rely on that, and I don't want to in any way see those events not take place. So I don't want anybody to think wrongly, but I just think this is and so maybe the town board needs to select a handful of, say, okay, Polish Fair, Polish Festival, Duck Pond Day, the ones that really what we see is tourist events, that attract businesses to them, and then maybe the town could choose to co-sponsor and help cover those costs.
Yeah, any money that we could recoup would be obviously beneficial for the police department.
Okay.
Being an advocate for your department, that's good stuff, so.
So that's my thought process.
All right,
So
yeah.
if everybody's okay, then we'll.
Yeah, we'll continue to have this conversation, yeah. Yeah.
I think it needs to be addressed.
Okay. Thanks, Captain. Thank you, Captain. You have a great day. No more weather events today. Our next matter surrounding site plan application now for 318 East Main Street, Riverhead. With our planner DANOWSKI, come on to the table. It's a great place to be.
Drop your pen.
Looking forward to it.
You and that pen are not getting along today, Marissa.
I was going to say the same thing. Whose desk did you take that off of?
Mine.
Okay.
It just doesn't like me.
If you just introduce our guest.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Padilla. I work for Cover Engineering. We are the engineering firm that has been contracted by the client for 318 East Main Street.
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you.
So I just wanted to bring to the board, the planning department, we've received a site plan application. It is for, entitled 318 East Main Street. It is an application looking to demo and reconstruct a rear commercial addition. So a little bit background information on the property. So it's located at the shopping center is 314, 324 East Main Street. It's Suffolk County Tax Map number 129 to 34.1. It's on the northwest corner of Union Avenue and East Main Street. And it's within multiple overlay districts. Overlay districts are including East Main Street, Urban Renewal Area, Town of Riverhead Historic District, Downtown Riverfront Overlay, and the Town of Riverhead Parking District. It's both residential and commercial uses surround the property. So there's a mixture of all with retail, restaurants, single-family residences, things of that nature. So they are proposing to actually, there is currently a rear addition that was built, I believe, from building department records. It started back in 2018. There was a stop work order that was issued in regards to a rear addition being built without proper approvals. So they were told to obtain the proper approvals at that time and to get a building permit. At that point, they submitted an application for a 56 square foot rear access enclosure. And then more information was requested at that time by the chief building inspector. And that permit is still open. At this time, the last correspondence that was in that file was from 2020, and it was from the Riverhead Sewer District to the Suffolk County Department of Health, Wastewater Management, indicating the grease trap was installed to comply with the Riverhead Sewer District. In 2024, going forward, the code enforcement was on patrol and noticed that the commercial addition was being built in the back entrance behind the existing deli. So a stop work order was then issued again and indicating to obtain the proper approvals to the rear addition. At that point in March of 2025, a site plan application was submitted to legalize the existing addition at that point. It was determined at a later date to demolish and reconstruct the addition that is still currently there. So they're looking to tear the one down and then build within like and kind in place. So just going through the application a little bit more, some of the improvements that are going to take place, and some that staff is going to recommend. So currently in the front of the building, if you take a look at page 4, it shows the front facade of the deli that is doing the rear addition. So currently the awning is in disrepair. So we were asking as the staff to make sure that the awning gets removed and repaired quickly as possible and efficiently, as it's a public safety concern, and to also just obtain the proper permits to be obtained during that time to replace the awnings. I will note that I have driven past there at this point, and it has been taken down, at least the pole, so that it is no longer a safety hazard. So that is a step in the right direction. Also, there is currently 2 signs at the existing suite. If you take a look at page 4 again, you can see that it says Village Delicatessen and Deli Chaplain. I just want to make sure, I believe from Town Code 301-249, that it only permits one primary sign per business location. So I would just want to make sure with the proper review board, architectural review board, that is permitted, if not, to get that rectified. So I just recommended to get that situated and legalize existing signs and uses.
Are you saying that both of these are one entity?
Yes, exactly. So the 2 signs are one entity. At one point, 318 and 320 were 2 separate tenants. There is a building permit that shows that they were actually merged together, the 2 suites. And I believe from that, the 2 signs remained up top. However, it's now one entity. So I would just want to make sure, usually as code states, that it's one sign for one business. But I think due to when they converted, they got 2 signs. So I just want to make sure that's okay. Yeah,
My only concern there, Marissa, is that if they decide one sign and they make one big sign that goes across the whole thing, this might look better than one big giant sign that they might be
right.
able to have.
Yeah, I think A or B, if they brought up the idea to them, showing the ideas that they're thinking, either the one big sign or if they just want to stick to the one small sign that currently has the size, I think the A or B would be able to
I mean,
determine
I'm
that
good with
overall.
two small signs as opposed to one big, large sign.
Yeah,
Leave it to the architectural review board.
yeah, I agree. Leave it to the architectural review board, and then we can see what happens from there. In regards to the lighting, when I went on the site visit, I did note that it met the height requirements. However, the fixtures just weren't compliant, so I made a note recommending that that all the lighting is compliant. They did supply me spec sheets that showed that they were going to be compliant with the with the lighting code at this point in time. Dumpster enclosure. Currently, it's a dilapidated 6-foot chain link fence. They do propose on the updated site plan that they are going to relocate it and build a new dumpster enclosure. So that was one of my concerns in the beginning, and they seem to be compliant and rectifying, and they agreed to relocate all of that. The parking and access wise, for this property, like I said in the beginning, it's within the downtown overlay parking district, so they have the ability to use the municipal parking. There is one right across the street of Union Avenue, and with that, there's not enough parking on site. However, they can use the municipal parking. I will note that there is not really a crosswalk on Union Avenue. So if they do park in the municipal parking, I would just suggest maybe possibly looking at trying to put a crosswalk across Union Avenue so pedestrians can get across safely. And other than that, I did also notice when I was on my site inspection that there were patrons that were walking into the deli that were parking on a private property that is to the north. So there is, I believe I don't know if it's Insatiable Eats, right? I believe that it's that parcel. There is a lot of parking there. I do know people park there quite often. So I did see that a lot of the patrons that were going to the deli were actually parking in that parking lot, which is a private property, and walking over to the deli. So one note that I did make is to possibly explore the idea of a parking agreement of some sort, or something of that nature if it's going to continue being that everyone's parking there and walking over there, or we're just going to have to dedicate that the municipal parking is the only way to park, and no parking on the private property that's to the north of it at that point. And then I just had minor little things that should be addressed. If you look at page 7, the front roof of the commercial building, you can see that the roofing is in disrepair. And then I've been driving by to my way to work in the morning. I've seen since then that also there's other sections of the asphalt shingles that are actually coming apart. So I just made a note of it to rectify that. That should probably be repaired and addressed, because you don't want any further problems down the road with the building. Drainage structures in the back, I did see one at the time. The drainage structure was overflowing, so if the property owner could just maintain that as well. And for the most part, that was about it. There's a landscaping buffer that I was going to talk about. That's also having to do with the northern parcel, the private property that's to the north that people walk through. Due to people walking to and from that the two parcels, over the time, the vegetation has become dirt and concrete. So I was saying to revegetate that, determining whatever the answer would be to either the parking agreement or things of that nature.
Is that fence post that used to be a fence there maybe?
That is a sign used to be there.
Okay, so what is this?
So I'm not completely sure. I do see there was like a parking.
I think you used to say parking only for the property that was there, so.
Yeah, something of that nature maybe. So I just asked to revegetate that area, determining whatever becomes either the parking agreement or if everybody's just going to use the municipal parking at that point.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
As far as the landscaping goes, you're not probably going to have an agreement between the two businesses before the site plan approval, right? So what do you want to do as far as your recommendation in the meantime for the?
I would recommend to at least leave it be and let it revegetate like with grass. It looks like there is grass growing there. It's just very slowly, and in the pieces that is not concrete and dirt, if you look like towards the edges, as long as nobody walks on it and it gets cleared, I believe that grass would revegetate and grow there, but then it would have to be maintained.
Is it grass or weeds?
I can look into that. But yeah, I would, if there's nothing that's stating about the shared parking agreement, I would suggest getting revegetation at that point, just to make sure that there's a delineation between the two properties at that point.
In terms of people parking, in insatiable needs, at this particular point with all the construction, I'm not going to go crazy on where people can park on the other side, on the northern side of Main Street, because so much parking is currently taken away. So I'll leave it up to the property owners to decide what they want to do with each other. Because I don't know where, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Absolutely. I just wanted to bring it up as...
no, I appreciate that.
It's private I just wanted to bring it up as if it was somebody's private property, and technically, if they want to make agreements for the future, that's fine, but that's between the property owners. The only other thing I could, that I wanted to state was the windows, that is currently for the commercial building. So in part of the code, in 301-143A2 states that windows may not be obscured by more than 10% of opaque banners, or either permanent or temporary advertisement or signs. So taking a look throughout the photos that I gave in the staff report, besides the deli is one thing, and I would say that they need to comply with that section of code as well. But overall, for the whole parcel, I would just preferably, I would want the property owner to tell all tenants that this part of code stands. I have walked past there, and there's blinds that cover the whole window. That's technically, as the code states, not permitted, and that's actually some of the reasoning of why the awnings are permitted. We're trying to keep the windows open and for people to look into. So with that, with a shade, it's technically not permitted, but that's why the awnings are allowed. So that they can provide shade, just in a different realm. So I did make the suggestion that the property owner should go to all the tenants and suggest to take down anything that's covering the windows more than that percentage. Other than that, it's been referred to Suffolk County Department of Health. The fire marshal, I do have to send them the updated plans. They've got the original plan, but then I have to send them the revised one. I know that they have been working with the Town of Riverhead Water District, and they were in the process of getting the RPZ information dealt with.
Yeah, that was approved.
That was approved.
That was approved, yeah.
And then I also referred it to the Town of Riverhead Sewer District. I will note that the reason I bring up the prior history from 2018 is because there is a note that says that a grease trap was installed. So therefore, that does work for a deli. That's what they needed. So that should be all handled, but I will re-refer it to them to make sure. to the Town of Riverhead Engineering Department. I believe he gave me a note. I just didn't write it down since then. So I will give that note out. He had one comment. The Landmark Preservation Committee, they approved the plans on June 1st. SHPO, New York State Historic Preservation Office, they had no comments. And the Architectural Review Board said the rear elevation was okay, which is the area that they are rebuilding, and to return with the repairs to the front facade and awning. So they pretty much got the okay for the rear addition to reconstruct.
Ask a question.
Yeah.
What about the benches? Are they permitted under town code to be in the front like that?
So I can further look into that.
We allowed out since COVID.
What was the question?
The benches. Since COVID, we've allowed outdoor eating, so and that's probably where you want to look. And I do see people eating out there. I would hate to take that away from them.
Yeah, I can further look into it and see what the outdoor eating.
They may just need a permit for it. That's
Yep.
it. You know?
Yep. Absolutely. And if that's the case, then I can just put to receive the proper permits and approvals for outdoor
Outdoor
seating.
dining.
Yep. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this in front of you, in front of the board, just because, as you can tell, there's a lot going on here. It's
Superintendent is very happy to work with the town of Riverhead to get this up and running the right way. And yeah, we're assuring that everything's getting addressed properly.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add to it, or?
I think Marissa has done a great job of explaining the job itself. Really, this is really just about the addition to the deli. It's a simple, straightforward addition where it's just only going to be used for storage purposes. So it's not like he's expanding the deli to add more seats or anything like that, which would require, I'm pretty sure, a change of use application to increase, how many people are allowed to eat in there. It could be a deli to like a restaurant, but that's not the case. We have addressed any concerns about the site plan, comments such as the lighting, for example. We did a sanitary calculation, making sure that the addition of the deli itself won't overload the sanitary system, the grease trap, for example, or we also made sure that we're showing properly how much flow increase is going to be added to public sewer. But overall, everything is straightforward. We're making good progress. We've been coordinating with Town Riverhead properly, Planning Department. Like we said before, an RPZ was required, and we got that approved right away. And we're looking forward to just keep working with you guys. And after we have an approval from planning, we're looking forward to proceed with the submission to Building Department, so we can get the applications to proceed. But yeah.
Good work.
That was a very, very thorough job. You did great.
Thank you, thank you,
You both for coming.
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for spending time with me yesterday going over this.
Oh,
I had
thank you.
already had my eyes on it through the Landmark Preservation Commission, but it was nice to hear your perspective of it.
Thank
and
you.
I learned a lot. Thank you.
I appreciate it. It's been good. I'm happy
You're doing a great job.
working where I am. It's very nice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
So with that in mind, and thank you for both of those matters, just a second, we'll adjourn to executive session, and where we'll cover personnel matters surrounding the change in status of an employee with STRIPLIN-TIO, matters surrounding the hiring of an employee with STRIPLIN-TIO, and then matters surrounding the purchase of real property with Howard and Hurley. May I have a first and second to go into exec?
So moved.
All in favor?
Bye.
Thank you.